mean, when I first saw it, it really did just look like my whole kitchen was on fire.
It's important to understand the risks to human health in addition to the grave concerns about gas stoves emitting some of the most potent greenhouse gases. To help people understand how gas stoves negatively impact the indoor air quality of our homes, we used two pieces of technology. First, we used a Flow2 air quality monitor, which can quantify some of the key air pollutants from the use of gas stoves. Second, we used a forward-looking infrared camera, also known as a GF320 FLIR, which can visualize natural gas, also known as methane, as well as some of the air pollutants produced by burning it. We can't see these pollutants with our own eyes, but the camera can. These devices together allow us to comprehend the air pollution in our own homes and perhaps understand some of the public health consequences as a result from breathing them in. The FLIR camera allows us to see the plume of gas as it rises from the stove and spreads throughout the kitchen, living room, and bedrooms in our homes.
The FLIR camera uses optical gas imaging to visualize unburned hydrocarbons like methane, as well as other air toxics produced by burning fossil fuels. One example is benzene, which commonly comes from vehicle tailpipe emissions, as well as other sources like smoking cigarettes. It is known to cause blood cancer, especially within children, and some autoimmune disorders. The second thing to know about the FLIR camera is that it detects heat. When we film in high sensitivity mode, the camera shows us the heat from the combustion when methane is ignited by a spark or by a flame. This creates the heat used for cooking. In the process of burning methane, toxic air pollutants are released, including nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, benzene, toluene, and xylene. These pollutants are byproducts of burning any fossil fuel, and each of them is known to cause harm to our health, especially our children's health.
And even though the oven is off at this point, those are still all this VOCs. With the aid of the camera, I was able to see this noxious plume that is dangerous. It seems almost surreal. You'd think, wow, look, I'm eating so healthy, but, in the process of preparing that healthy food is also a health concern.
I mean, when I first saw it, it really did just look like my whole kitchen was on fire. And I think I was most surprised at how wide it's dispersed. It's not totally unexpected, though. When I walk up the stairs, I can smell the gas. I can smell the food that's cooked. It's not worth it to me to have my kids have chronic exposure to toxins.
The FLIR camera footage from today was really shocking and kind of scary to look at. It's really hard to imagine that they're all there when you've never seen them caught on footage before. So seeing it just made it more real and dangerous.
In each house, we had two monitors. One we placed in the kitchen and the other we placed in the dining room. The kitchen appears as a solid black line, while the dining room appears as a dashed purple tinted line. We started recording 5 minutes before we turned the gas on and ended recording 5 minutes after we turned off the gas stove. As we cooked, nitrogen dioxide levels rose. In this home, they reached red on the Plume Air Quality Index scale, which indicates unhealthy levels of nitrogen dioxide for anyone. Elderly, children, and people with pre-existing health conditions likely have trouble breathing, feel unwell, cough, wheeze, and risk longer-term health conditions. Even otherwise healthy people at this level may notice some symptoms like difficulty breathing, headaches, or lightheadedness. Our data shows that only 3 of 17 homes stayed at a healthy level of exposure to nitrogen dioxide. On the other hand, 82% of residences had unhealthy concentrations of nitrogen dioxide. In some cases, we offered residents an opportunity to place a third monitor in a location of their choice. Similar to kitchens and dining rooms, we found that unhealthy concentrations of nitrogen dioxide spread to living rooms, second floors, even third floors, but most importantly, bedrooms.
Using the FLIR camera, we were able to visualize how effectively pollutants were captured through vents. When turning on vents installed under microwaves, which were the most common found in homes, we noticed that microwave vents were unsuccessful in capturing the fumes from the front burners. The microwave vents even struggled to capture fumes coming from the back burners. As you can see from the FLIR footage, this is concerning because most people use these front burners. As we are cooking, we are inhaling nitrogen dioxide, benzene, and other air toxics. So the question arises, should we continue to use gas stoves every time we cook a meal, knowing it impacts our health? Or should we move away from fossil fuel appliances?
It's a valid argument to look at lead paint and, lead pipes and asbestos. Those were pretty standard building materials for decades, and they served the purpose that they were originally meant for, but they were later found to be toxic and eventually have been banned. And that provides a very interesting paradox, so in as much as we don't want our children eating lead paint, so we didn't allow anybody to use lead in paint.
This is really important because now it's a family health issue, particularly having a young child.
How many people are dealing with asthmatic issues now? How many people are dealing with COPD? How many people are dealing with adverse health effects because of the way we live? And every generation seems to find a new thing that is detrimental to us, that we all believe is a fantastic, look at this great innovation we had using gas to cook with,
The new Y, corner of 24th and Hilliard in South Eugene, and it is amazing. This has been a many-year community journey. Such a wonderful facility, so much opportunity for people to build health and connections with other people here, and it's just awesome. And this is Karen Williams, who's one of the architects of the project who made this magic happen. So she could tell you anything and everything about the project. What do you want to know?
How do you design a facility for so many different needs and ages and yeah?
Community voices. So what was really important was that the Y brought their own voices as staff to the project, but we also brought the voices of the community and the people who've been members of the Y for a long time, and really asked them, what do you want, what do you need? And then also the effects of the pandemic. The pandemic really told us a lot about what communities and people need as far as space is concerned, but also what they need for refuge and for help. And so thoughtfully, just using all of those pieces, we were able to identify a way to make the design support the things that people want and need.
It's an amazing project. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
So they asked me for a landscape, and I wanted to do something that was really whimsical and really captured like the spirit of Eugene. Not just any landscape, but something you would find here that's bright and colorful and really shows the richness of our city. Yeah.
Well, I think you accomplished that perfectly.
Thank you.
River and trees. Everything. Beautiful. I love the colors and I love the style.
Thanks. Me too.
Good.
It's cool because my dad actually was really into Bigfoot, went out searching for Bigfoot when he was about my age. So it kind of was full circle. And I love playing with the concept. Yeah, it's very Pacific Northwest, you know. So it seemed like it made sense in the space.
Blue is calming. Has a lot of movement, but at the same time, it's not. I don't want it to be like in your face. I want it to be soothing, so that people can just do their exercise and just kind of be reflective.
All right, welcome everybody. I am so excited to be with everybody here today. We were just having conversations inside a few minutes ago that we might not be able to fill all the chairs, and it seems like the whole community is here, which is super exciting. Oh. Is this better? All right. I'm Joe Carmichael, and I'm the board president here at the Y. And on behalf of the board, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to the brand new home of the Eugene Family YMCA. Today is a monumentally historic moment for our Y and for our community as we all gather together to celebrate what we can do when we come together and to look at this unbelievable 75,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. Yeah. I want to give special thanks to our elected officials that are here today with us. Senator James Manning, State Representative Nancy Nathanson, Mayor Lucy Bennis, and City Councilor Matt Keating. At this point, I would like to welcome Belle, Karina, and Esther from Eugene Girl Scout Troop 13024 and the Eugene Gleeman. The Eugene Gleeman, this is a wonderful bit of history. The Eugene Gleeman performed at our opening ceremonies on Willamette Street in the 1900s. Not the same people. But we are honored to have them here today to perform the national anthem.
Please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I would like to welcome to the stage Mayor Lucy Binnis.
Good morning, Eugene. Thank you for joining us on this gorgeous sunny day. What an incredible moment to celebrate. It does feel a little surreal. I had asked earlier before we started when the first conversations began around building a new Y, and it was 2001. So more than 20 years we've been talking about this, and certainly there were a period of time, as Joe commented during the pandemic, when I was like, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to get this done? So I have sort of three things that I want to highlight about this whole community endeavor, because it's all of you. And the first is the vision, the perseverance, and then the responsiveness to community needs. And the vision is extraordinary. You all know this about the Y. Joe has just alluded to this about, the value, the mission of inclusiveness that the Y has always carried forward, but it has been very constrained by that older building. And now it is unleashed, right? Completely inclusive, accessible to everyone. We say in the city of Eugene that we are striving to build a culture of belonging, where everyone not only feels welcome, they feel that they belong there. It is a home for them. And the YMCA has created that building. They have created that building based on that culture of belonging. And as you walk through and you begin to realize the programming that's available, and you realize that it's going to meet the needs of everyone in our community, whether you have a child who needs childcare, whether you have a teenager who needs a safe place and an interesting place and a fun place to hang out, whether you're a senior citizen and you need good sort of age-appropriate exercise, whether you have a particular health issue and you need to address that. This building was designed both to meet those needs and to be adaptable and flexible to whatever new needs might emerge. And so, incredible vision. The second trait that we see embodied in this endeavor is perseverance. And Joe again alluded to that over 20 years, thinking about this, how to do it, purchasing the land, all of the barriers that normally come with a capital campaign, and then on top of that, a pandemic. And it's incredible credit to the staff, to Brian's leadership, to Danielle, to Sabrina, all of the people who led this, to the board of directors. I come out of the nonprofit world, and this kind of capital campaign doesn't happen unless the board of directors are all in, doing the work, making the phone calls, showing up at the events, day after day after day after day, for years. So an incredible tribute to them. And then just thinking about the impact of the perseverance, and that just created additional hurdles for everyone to sort of hold it together, have the confidence that they could pull this off, to bring us all on board, right? All on board with that vision. We all bought into that vision at one level or another. And then third, responsiveness. The YMCA is just this extraordinary asset to our community in terms of their responsiveness to human needs. So when you think of just coming through the pandemic, one of our critical issues during the pandemic was this question of childcare. And it was the YMCA that helped step up to create that childcare opportunity. It was incredibly important. We knew that even though many of us could work remotely, many of us also had to show up at work, and we needed childcare in order to be able to do that. And the YMCA stepped into the breach. I will say one other thing about this facility, which is we are a community that has embraced the importance of responding to climate change. And this building was also built with that in mind. And I will say there was a moment in time when we got a letter, the city council got a letter from Brian talking about the heating system and what they had gone through to figure out what was the most appropriate heating system, what would be the most fuel efficient, what the current industry made available to them. And it was not only that the Y had done due diligence on how to respond to that and be responsible, it was also that he shared that information with the city council that helped inform us about what's realistic, what's fair, what's appropriate, where are we in that process. So the YMCA, this incredible partner at so many different levels in our community. And we have a couple of state legislators here, so I just want to do a shout out to the state legislature, because it was the state legislator, and Nancy Nathanson is here, and Senator Manning, James Manning are here, and the state legislator had to carry forth that ask for some funding for the YMCA. So these partnerships, they start grassroots. It's board of directors, it's what happens at the city level and the county level, and then it's what happens at the state level. We all have to work together to make these things come together, and it's because we have a vision of who we want to be as a community. What do we want to have available that makes this city a wonderful, thriving place for people to live, work, and play? Thank you all for showing up today. Thank you all for showing up every day to support your community.
Next up is our CEO, Brian Steffen.
So as we prepare to open the Eugene Family YMCA at the Don Stathos campus, it is important to pause and remember those who historically called this ground home and who built lives, families, and memories here. The new YMCA is located on Kalapuya Ilahi, the traditional indigenous homeland of the Kalapuya people. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, Kalapuya people were disposed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly removed to the coast reservations in Western Oregon. Today, descendants are citizens of the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians. And they continue to make important contributions in their communities and ours. We express our enduring respect for these tribal nations, for the Kalapuya people who call this land home. And I want to just share that land acknowledgement, those words were similarly shared when we broke ground in June 2020. And I'm going to guess that maybe a lot of people don't remember the words of that land acknowledgement. They might not have even remembered that we had the land acknowledgement. But at the Y, we always want to have our words be manifest in action. and we want to show a demonstration that aligns with our convictions. And so I want to touch on this idea a little bit. So as you come into the Y, on the first floor, one of the main areas you'll see on the north end is the Kalapuya Community Room. We've been working closely with the tribal nations and shaping the vision for that space. It's connected to our Camas teaching kitchen. It's a room where we will have games and puzzles, potlucks. We'll have our annual chili cook-off in that space. People will build relationships and connections for many, many years. We'll have nutrition classes in there. We'll have our diabetes prevention program. We'll teach kids healthy snacks and meals. And so we're looking forward to that. We also have commissioned a local artist named Isla Rose, who did one of the pieces in the building. And Isla is working closely with the tribal leaders to help shape the vision for this beautiful mural that will be in that space. Isla is also being assisted on that mural by an enthusiastic assistant named Noelle Poole. Noelle is a descendant of the Kalapuya people and is an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribe of Grand Ronde. I'm happy to announce and share that as we open the new Y, any member who is an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribe of the Grand Ronde or the Confederated Tribe of the Siletz, they will have a free membership at our Y. And so you've heard me mention a little bit the Don Stathos campus. And so I want to speak to that a little bit. We have with us here some of Don's family members. Would you mind standing up? We have his daughters, Jenny and Holly, and their family. Thank you for being here. We're so excited that you're here. And I want to speak a little bit about Don. His visionary and determined effort as a state legislator to pass the renowned bike bill launched a movement across the nation to inspire healthy habits, safe family activities,